Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Michi Makes Up. If you're new to the channel, welcome, good to have you. Consider giving this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and ring the bell to get notified every time new content is released. I review a lot of luxury makeup and occasionally luxury skincare. Today I have the rest of my Lisa Eldridge order. So we're going to look at the cream blushes, the Enlivening Blushes, and her Elevated Glow. The shade that I have here is Crystal Nebula. And we're also going to look at her lip glosses. I got two, I think, of the 4 new shades she released with this launch, but I'm so excited here to look at everything today. If you missed my first video of the Lisa Eldridge products, in my first video I reviewed 6 of her 7 luxurious lucent lipsticks, so basically her satin lipsticks, and I also demoed one of the cream blushes. This is in Pink Poetry. So if you've missed that video, I will have the link below for you guys to hop over there to watch it if you're interested. And most of these blushes, unfortunately, like many of her previous launches with products she's launching for the first time, many of these, if not all of them, have sold out. You can still get most of the Elevated Glow, especially Crystal Nebula, and I believe you can still get these new lip gloss shades. I will have the information below also for you guys to take a look at. And I noticed a small detail that I want to point out to you guys is that she has her logo kind of printed like this, but if you stack the boxes in a way, they align and it makes up her logo. Isn't that cool? Like this box, this is the front facing part because you see, you know, the name, what the product is. But if you flip it to the side, they also line up. I just thought that was a really fun detail. You know, not that it enhances how you experience the product, but I just thought it was a fun detail in of itself. And she has a really cute logo as well. You know, the lips with a beauty mark. I'd like to first try on the glosses because I'd also like to leave on one of the 2 gloss shades as we try the blushes. So I have 2 shades here. For her Gloss Embrace, I have the shade Affair and Songbird. So let's take a look at both of them. I'll do some hand swatches as well. Like her lipsticks, it has that same kind of finish. Really pretty, feels really nice. So these are substantial packaging. The lip glosses are made in Italy and have a shelf life of 36 months. They're also, I believe, unscented. This is Songbird and this is Affair. So let me try on Affair first because I have a feeling Songbird is going to be my choice because it's a little bit lighter. I think there's a bigger chance it's going to go really well with all the blushes. This is Affair, and I did not dip back the applicator into the gloss. So this is, I guess you could call it one application. Let me apply a second application. So this is with 2 application. It is buildable and it looks a lot glossier with 2 applications. With one, I think it's a little bit more low-key, and this shade looks really, really nice. I like it more than I thought I would. So about Affair, the shade is described as, from the website, as an earthy, soft caramel brown with easygoing, cool girl vibes. The wonderful sticky toffee shade has neutral, warm, golden undertones. Yeah, I think that is accurate. It's easy to wear. It goes with, you know, kind of the pink eyeshadow that I have on today and this top as well. I'd be surprised if there was, you know, a specific look that it didn't go with, you know, unless you were going for something really, really bright. But even then, it's kind of like a very easy to carry shade. Next is Songbird. Songbird is more, I think, nudie. They're both very pigmented for glosses, and you can see that pink tone to it. Let me apply a second application. I felt like I already got a lot of product on, but just for demonstration, let me try to add more. I feel like these are the glossiest lips, like the juiciest, glossiest lips. That is, you know, the shade is like my lips but better and with a little bit more pink than it is neutral. Very nice. So Songbird is described as, from the website, is a light beige putty pink inspired by 60s songstresses like Francois Hardy and Jane Birkin. Exactly as understated, beguiling and insouciant as you might imagine. Very pretty. I do like this a lot. I don't know which one I like more between the two because they're quite different, although I am more in the mood for Songbird because of the pink eyeshadow and this outfit. Mind you, this affair goes well too, but I think we'll keep this shade on to try on the blushes. For the blushes, I have 4 shades. Pink Poetry, which I had demoed already in my video yesterday. A little bit, like a little bit of product goes a long ways. So this is Pink Poetry, blend it out. These Enlivening cream blushes are made in Italy and have a shelf life of 24 months. And then we have here Pink Soap. And I wanted to show you how this is, well, this is all clear and you can see the product being squeezed from the tube. I just thought it was interesting. Somehow, I don't recall seeing too many products where you can see the product coming out. I don't know if it's supposed to have some kind of function to it, but I was just curious, wanted to point it out. So this is, before I blend it out, is Pink Soap. This is a gorgeous shade. Wow, look at that. These do have a light scent to them, and they remind me of soap. Can't quite pinpoint if there's like, it's like fruity or maybe like floral. Just reminds me of soap. And then we have Island Glow, a bright coral shade. Some of these as they're coming out of the tube definitely feel a little bit more, like they feel a little thicker. So that's Island Glow. The last shade is Mountain Walk. I'm so excited to try these on my cheeks. They're so different from each other. What I'm going to do is put 1 shade on each side of the cheek so we can get through all of them. And before we do that, I also want to swatch the Elevated Glow in Crystal Nebula. The Elevated Glow comes in a glass, like a frosted glass bottle, and you know, the top we're familiar with. This is a big doe foot applicator, like it's jumbo size. So that's what it looks like, and I still think a little bit of the Elevated Glow as well. It goes a long ways. So I think what we'll do is put the Elevated Glow on the last set of blushes because I'll be wiping off the first 2. I'm very curious about Mountain Walk. I remember it looking a little bit different from Lisa Eldridge's demo video, so why don't we give that a try first. So you only need a little bit. So that is Mountain Walk. Let's give Island Glow a try next. I don't even mind starting as light as this and then going back in for more. I learned from part 1 of this video that it's much harder to correct these blushes when you apply too much because they're so pigmented. This is Island Glow and Mountain Walk. I wonder with the brush if I could blend this out just a little bit more. So you don't see this right here. It's almost like tracing, like you can see with my fingers, I was like tracing this upwards. Looks a little bit more blended, but you might even use a sponge to help you move the product around just enough so it looks exactly the way you want it to. I like both, but with the eye look, I'm liking Island Glow more. Island Glow is described as a warm, bright coral that imparts skin with a deliciously sunny, warm blush. Looks great on olive, medium, and deeper skin tones. There's a tone of coral that always reminds me of slow-paced, relaxing sunny days in hot climates. This is it. Well, I think it's beautiful. And for Mountain Walk, Mountain Walk is an intense blue base raspberry pink that imparts skin with a freshly flushed cheek, redolent of a brisk walk outdoors. Works well on all skin tones. Apply this shade sparingly on lighter skin tones. I love the Dolomites in mountainous northern Italy. This is a particular flush to the cheeks after an early morning hike that I wanted to recapture with this shade. Interesting. I love these backstories of how she decided or how she came up with the shade. So let me take this off and we'll come back for the other two. Next we have Pink Soap. Pink Soap is the easiest to work with. It is the lightest, but also the texture is more emollient than the others. Pink Soap is easier to blend and diffuse. I think it has to do with the fact that it's more emollient. Like it just comes out the tube without much pressure from me, whereas the other shades, Island Glow for example, like I really have to go at it to get product to come out. I'm actually pushing pretty hard, squeezing pretty hard, and there's no additional product coming out. So let me, like now you begin to see a little bit of product. So interesting, that's really interesting. I don't know if this is completely intentional or it's just perhaps the way these shades are formulated, therefore how emollient it is and how easily the product comes out is wholly dependent on that. And I do want to add a little bit more Pink Soap because it's such an easygoing shade, and I wonder how much I can build on it and still have it look natural, skin-like, and that I'm not overdoing it. So this is with a second application. Now you can see it more. This is really pretty. This is the easiest shade to wear. Pink Soap is described as a muted dusty rose which imparts skin with a beautifully subtle warm pink blush. Works best on lighter to medium skin tones. I named the shade Pink Soap as it reminds me of a bar of soap that sat in my grandmother's bathroom for seemingly years. A classic bar of vintage pink soap. And last but not least, we have Pink Poetry. And this is Pink Poetry. I think I did a better job this time around than the first time when I tried it. Well, very nice. I'm going to go back in and dot Pink Poetry just a little bit more because I want to show you as you build up the shade just how much pigment you can get from it. And this still looks blended and nice as well. But yeah, this is probably the maximum I would go with these really pigmented blushes. So let's now apply Crystal Nebula. And that's a lot. You don't need a lot of Crystal Nebula either. And this is Crystal Nebula on top of Pink Soap on the right side and on top of Pink Poetry on the left side. Yeah, you don't need a lot of product. Just a little bit goes a long ways. I didn't like how I moved too much product in this area and I look kind of tired right around here. Definitely sticks to the high points of the cheeks. You don't want it to be too glowy in those areas where you do have, like for me, dark circles to cover. It just kind of makes you look tired. So, you know, this side looks a little bit better. It's really, really pretty, very wearable. And it does feel like your skin. And it looks like your skin. Just very natural, but you can tell there is makeup. When I look at this on my vanity mirror, it looks really natural. I mean, it's obvious that I'm glowing, like I obviously have some products that I'm using to get this glow, but you don't see any texture being highlighted. You don't see anything kind of not blended. Everything looks blended together and it doesn't stick out in an awkward way. So it looks just kind of seamless. And this does remind me of Charlotte Tilbury's Hollywood filter, which I have. So let me take that out and compare it against this Crystal Nebula, the Elevated Glow. I'm just going to swatch it right here. And I will actually put Elevated Glow right below it. So this is Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter, and this is Elevated Glow. The difference between the two, I mean, the shades are different. This is much warmer and has a pink undertone, whereas Crystal Nebula is much cooler and has more of a reflective quality. The Hollywood Flawless Filter actually has some coverage because you can wear this, you can mix it in with your primer, wear it under your foundation, and it does give you a little bit of coverage, but the glow within that it gives you is more subtle. This is like a glow you put on top, but it mimics the glow within. However, it's a little bit more amped up. So this is meant for applying on top of your makeup, while this is meant for applying underneath your makeup, but you can also apply it on top. Because of the coverage this gives, I typically just use it underneath my foundation. So it gives me like a little bit more of a sheen, but it doesn't act as a highlight. That's my preference when I use this. I'm sure some people who may have multiple shades, they might have a lighter shade they like to use as a highlight they put on top of everything. And then because we're at it, I did take out another shimmery primer. So it's not the same as the Hollywood Flawless Filter, since that is not really a primer. You can mix it in, but it's not something that's gonna make your makeup have longer wear. This is a primer, but it does have shimmer to it, and this is from VDL, which is a Korean brand. They call this the Lumi Layer Primer. A makeup artist I worked with actually likes mixing this kind of, put it here, the VDL Lumi Layer with the Clé de Peau color corrector. And I thought it really achieved a nice effect when she used that on me. So this could also be, you could use it as a highlighter, but it is fairly emollient. It's actually quite similar to Elevated Glow. And it gives you a very cool pink tone, but because of the shade, it's suitable for people with fair skin, light skin, because you do risk giving yourself like a white cast if you use too much. But I would say it looks just as shiny or reflective as Elevated Glow. Elevated Glow has more of that sparkly shimmer to it though. And while the Hollywood Flawless Filter, Elevated Glow are unscented, this VDL primer is scented, has like a floral scent to it. And the Elevated Glow is made in Italy with a shelf life of 12 months. Let me know below what you think of all the blush shades and also the two lip glosses along with Elevated Glow. I think Elevated Glow is really natural looking, really pretty. I don't know that it ever dries down completely because as I'm, kind of going through it, there's still like a little bit of tackiness to it. Nothing uncomfortable. Your hair is not going to get stuck on your face if the wind blows. It's not that kind of tackiness, but it hasn't dried down. So I wonder if that's gonna dry down at all, but I'll come back in another video to give you guys an update. The blushes themselves, I mentioned this in part 1, but the blushes do just kind of become your skin. Anything I do feel when I go over it is more like the foundation, like I feel the foundation rather than the blush. So it's very skin-like. And as for the lip glosses, one application is probably enough because I noticed as I was talking, the product's kind of moving. It started gathering on the corners of my lips. So I actually had to off camera kind of wipe it off. I definitely had too much lip glosses on because these are so pigmented. You don't I think one application, you don't need to dip it back. If you really wanted to build on it, maybe just lightly tap some more right here and then kind of let it spread like that. So yeah, right now it just feels like I have too much lip gloss on. The texture of them is comfortable, but it is sticky. So I think your lips are going to be hydrated with this gloss on, but it's not one of those like, oh, it barely feels like anything. It feels more like a lip balm. There is that sticky texture, and it does, you do feel it on your lips, like you're wearing gloss. So thank you guys for watching. I will see you very soon. Take care. Bye.